Attention.
Excited to be at the start of the Diamond Sculls, the Twickenham Rowing Club. Aidan Thompson on the left of your screen versus Tom Barras on the right of your screen. This is an absolutely stacked event and we cannot wait to watch it.
Yeah, every round of the Diamond Sculls has got something brilliant to watch and admire and be inspired by, and this will be no different.
Barras is Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo. Men's quad, he's dabbled in the double, dabbled in the single a bit this year, so he's doing a very good job there. But Aidan Thompson, also part of the GB team, they'll know each other well.
And both graduates of great Welsh universities, I believe, Swansea and Cardiff being represented here.
Some good knowledge there. A little bow ball ahead there for Barras here in this blue and yellow striped lycra over the Twickenham row at the top of your screen, but that is really pretty much bow ball to bow ball.
And again, we've talked about how that feels in an 8 when you've got that noise and fury sort of side by side. And what we're getting now is this, the single sculls, it's much more silent. And there's a different intensity when there's two singles. There's nothing else. There's no other noise apart from almost the breathing and the sound of the water of your opposition right next to you.
Right next to you, and Thompson has kept the pressure on Barras here. Two mates will be racing against each other down Caversham Lane, not very far from here in the British team, and I think it's pretty much neck and neck. Now, we talk about being gladiatorial, but the single scull is probably the ultimate gladiatorial race, isn't it?
It really is, and it's when there's two boats in it, this is a fantastic move actually. It's really hard to tell some of these angles, especially in the small boats, exactly what's happened there. But it does look like Thompson's just moved out and has got a little bit of a lead over Tom Barras.
As we come further down the course, we've just gone through the half mile, and Thompson's actually taken a length lead in the single scull here as we come through the middle of the course. But do you know what? You can never write anyone off in a single scull. What does Tom Barras have to do now to stay in this game?
It's always going to be hard to comment from here because you don't know what's going through that, especially in a single scull. Sometimes you can be feeling within yourself, you might know that you're a natural sprinter and actually the best part of the race is still to come for you. Sometimes something might have happened or an unexpected thing, and it's all about how you react. I think for Tom, there's still a big, long part of this course to do. There's plenty of time to make up the distance if you need to. It's whether, again, if you just make small adjustments to start narrowing down the gap almost stroke by stroke, or you want to put in a move, change the rate more dramatically to see if you can just make a big impact and move ahead or move alongside your opposition. Because what you also never know, and we never can, is how the opposition is feeling. What has your opposition done to get ahead of you, and could you do something to sort of pull them in if they've almost got to their own limit?
So Tom Barras here has got to think that his colleague, he just has a little look over his shoulder there, he's got to think he's used up all his beans already, and he's got to keep steady, got to keep long and hope he's got a good finish in him. But at the moment it's all going Thompson's way as he's sitting pretty about a length and a half up.
I love this with the single sculls as well. You see both athletes glancing over at each other, trying to get a sort of read of just the gap and the margin, but also how they're doing. And you get a feel of how high the rate is. Has someone done something to move away, or is it just they're pulling out by just sheer speed without doing anything totally different? And Thompson's made a very strong move through the middle of this. Again, not a showy reaction, just an increase in speed to get that length he needs over Barras.
You only need to be fractionally faster than the person next to you all the way down the course, and this is what they've done here. And it's a moment for Tom to either decide he wants to have a go at this, or has Thompson shut the door? That's the point right now, I think.
Yeah, I think Barras is taking the rate up a little bit. Just see if he can start moving up, closing that gap again. You see in these small boats, just how narrow that bit is under your hips, and actually, the shoulders of the athletes are wider than the boat itself. They're very light, fragile boats, but it means you can get a good turn of speed in them because they are fast-reacting boats. So if you have the energy, the power, the technique, then you can change the speed quite quickly. But this is still, for Tom Barras, is quite a big margin to start closing down.
Well, Barras, the two-time Olympian, the Olympic silver medalist, right now is coming through the enclosures and he's getting beaten by a fellow GB rower. Thompson, he looks a little bit more in control I'm not sure Barras is going to have an answer here as we coming up to the final few hundred metres. It looks very strong from this Twickenham rower in the navy blue and pink of Twickenham.
And Aidan Thompson's shoulders there again from behind. You can always see a good sort of chance check that relaxation. Now there'll be little adjustments as that water moves around underneath him, but he has timed and paced this race absolutely perfectly.
A nice running there. Tom Barras there's giving it a bit of toot towards the finish line. He's trying to see if he can put Aidan Thompson under a little bit of pressure, but I think it's too little, too late in this Thursday race with the Diamond Challenge Sculls. You hear the beep at the finish line, the sweet relief of that beep knowing you're ahead. And Barras crosses the line in second place. There's a win for Thompson in the Diamond Sculls over Barras.